Part 19. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 182. There is no logic at all. Even if you can defeat monsters and level up, do you want to be so arrogant? I just broke through the 10,000 god realm, and then I killed less than 1 million demons. You told me that I am going to break through again. It only took about an hour before and after, right? How did you do it? Does this kind of skill really exist in the world? Mengjian saw Baiyuexi staring blankly at her without moving, so he waved his hand in front of her eyes and called softly Yuer. Hearing Mengjian's voice, Baiyuexi came back to her senses and said softly "Oh," and then walked aside blankly to protect the Dharma from Mengjian. Mengjian no longer hesitated and directly improved his cultivation level. Cultivation, 2,000 feet in the 10,000 god realm, 11 trillion god and demon points rightward arrow 3,000 feet in the 10,000 god realm. Seeing this, Mengjian was stunned. Unexpectedly, not only did the god and demon points obtained decrease, but even the level of cultivation doubled when he upgraded. Sure enough, the system thought it was too smooth for me and was going to trick me. But it doesn't matter now, after all, there are demons behind, but the demons behind must be powerful, and now I must improve my cultivation. He doesn't care, but Yuer is still following him. If something happens to her, he will never feel at ease for the rest of his life. He then continued to improve his cultivation level, directly upgrading to the 5,000 Zhang realm of the 10,000 gods. Cultivation level, 5,000 feet in the 10,000 god realm, 64 trillion god and demon points rightward arrow 6,000 feet in the 10,000 god realm. Looking at the flowing water of god and demon points, Mengjian felt heartbroken. It took him a long time to get this. After looking at the remaining god and demon points, there are still 181 trillion god and demon points. Mengjian looked at the human emperor seal. Upgrading required 30 trillion. Although he felt distressed, he upgraded without hesitation. The human emperor seal changed for a while, just like last time. The human emperor seal already had Kanyu realm and human race G printed on it. Luck is still 10% of all races in Kanyu realm. The remaining 151 trillion points of gods and demons are still directly upgraded to magical powers. The 10 directions purgatory was directly upgraded to the 5th level of the 10,000 gods realm, and it actually used up 2 billion god and demon points. Tyrannical dragon, the gate of time and space, and the immortal celestial puppet were all upgraded to the 5th level of the 10,000 gods realm, and they directly used 70 trillion of them. God and Devil point. It seems that after reaching the 10,000 gods realm, every skill and magical power has undergone a qualitative change, because Mengjian actually realized the law of disaster in the 10 directions purgatory. This is composed of doomsday natural disasters, big sun fires, black sun wind disasters, earth disasters, human disasters, demon disasters, samadhi difficulties, nature difficulties, karma difficulties, mind difficulties, soul difficulties, and disasters. Once fully mastered, it is not only extremely powerful but also has unpredictable mysteries. It contains the supreme meaning of the growth and decline of Qi and the birth and death of heaven and earth. But Tyrannosaurus Tianxia made Mengjian understand not the rules, but a kind of strong man's domineering spirit. He finally understood what he had realized in the killing just now, that is this kind of strong man's domineering spirit. This is like the coercion of a strong person, but the effect is 100 times more powerful. The coercion only serves to intimidate the enemy, but the domineering force of a strong person can completely kill the enemy with his momentum. Think about it, if the strength of both sides is the same, and you show the domineering power of a strong person and directly suppress the enemy, then his strength will inevitably decrease, and if the master crosses the opponent, this is the most fatal. Looking at the golden body in his body, now that the law of disaster has been imposed on him, the lines on the golden body are more complex, and his mastery of the law is deeper. After guarding the abyss for a billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 183. If this continues, I'm afraid I'll be able to fully master it by the time I reach Wanjiangshen. Now his strength can be said to have skyrocketed. Mengjian took a look at his attribute page. Host, Mengjian. Cultivation, 10,000 gods realm 5,000 jongs, 6.4 billion gods and demons points rightward arrow 10,000 gods realm 6,000 jongs. Cultivation technique, gods and demons 9 mysteries 200th level rightward arrow, 1,421.4 billion gods and demons points to upgrade to the 201st level. Wuji Hunyuan Sutra 200th level rightward arrow, 1,331.4 billion gods and demons points to upgrade to the 201st level. Supernatural power, 10 directions purgatory 10,000 gods realm 5,000 jongs rightward arrow, 32 trillion upgrades to the 10,000 gods realm to 6,000 feet, tyrannical dragon kills the 10,000 gods realm to 5,000 feet rightward arrow, 31 trillion upgrades to the 10,000 gods realm to 6,000 feet, the gate of time and space to the 10,000 gods realm to 5,000 feet rightward arrow, 39 trillion upgrade to 10,000 gods realm 6,000 jongs, immortal heavenly puppet 10,000 gods realm 5,000 jongs rightward arrow, 34 trillions 10,000 gods realm 6,000 jongs, menu and war body. God and demon points, 61 trillion god and demon points. Mengjian suddenly felt pitiful, no thinking that now there are not enough god and demon points to upgrade your cultivation level. But don't worry, there are demons behind you. Thinking of this, I felt a lot more at ease, and then looked at Baiyuexi. At this time, Baiyuexi just stared at Mengjian blankly, feeling extremely calm in her heart. At this time, even if Mengjian suddenly became an immortal, she would not find anything strange. A person was the master of 9 tribulations from an hour ago. After killing nearly 1 million extraterrestrial demons, his cultivation skyrocketed to the 10,000 god realm of 5,000 feet. What the hell is this? Are you sure God is not joking? Mengjian went over and said, let's go. Let's go inside and see how many demons there are. Baiyuexi turned her head mechanically and said, oh, okay. Mengjian's scalp suddenly became numb. It's over, this girl may have been fooled by herself, and she immediately regretted it. She shouldn't be jumping up and down like this in front of her. Even a normal person can't stand it. Then Mengjian kept shaking Baiyuexi and shouted, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Wake up, wake up. Maybe it was because Mengjian was really scared just now and his computer was stuck. Finally, under constant shaking, Baiyuexi shouted, monster. Hearing Baiyuexi's cry, Mengjian's face suddenly became filled with black lines. What is a monster? Is this how you see me? After finally shouting for 5 minutes, Baiyuexi stopped. At this time, Mengjian's ears were completely shocked to the point of tinnitus, and he watched Baiyuexi finally calm down. I can't help but think that I can't stimulate her anymore, otherwise she will really die. It's not Baiyuexi who died. But Mengjian was shocked to death by Baiyuexi's shouts. Baiyuexi knew that she was too abnormal just now, but there was nothing she could do about it. Have you ever seen a person start to level up after killing monsters? This cannot be described as shocking at all, it is simply weird. Baiyuexi saw Mengjian covering his ears and looking at her with depressed eyes. He lowered his head and asked, Mister, are you okay? The tragedy for Mengjian at this time was that he could only see Baiyuexi opening her mouth, but could not hear what she said. But fortunately, he knew what he was saying by looking at his lips, so he said, I can't hear it at all anymore, my ears are ringing. Baiyuexi looked at Mengjian aggrievedly and said, you scared me first, okay. Then, listen, you don't know how you know anything about me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 184. Menjan said helplessly. Okay, blame me, I shouldn't have scared you like this, I'm reading lips now. Bayuixi said. Oh, shall we continue? Menjan rolled his eyes. Okay. She didn't hear a word of what he just said to Bayuixi. Then he said, of course, continue. How could we miss such a good opportunity? Now we are going into the abyss. Hearing this, Bayuixi visibly trembled, and then said with tears in his eyes. My husband, you won't just become an immortal and leave me, right? Menjan laughed and said. What are you talking about? Even if I become an immortal, I will still be by your side. Why would I leave you? After hearing Menjan's words, Bayuixi burst into tears and smiled. She nodded obediently and said, then let's go. You hurry up and become an immortal. That way no one will dare to bully me again. Meng. Jean shook his head and said with a smile, no one dares to bully you now, unless an immortal comes. Bayuixi was overjoyed, and then thought of what Menjan said to everyone when they got married. He would definitely become the 10,000 god realm within 1,000 years. At that time, everyone thought he was arrogant and bragging. Now he knows it. My husband-in-law is too low-key and humble. She thought that when her father and others saw Menjan's cultivation when they returned, they must be the same as her. I'm afraid it's not as good as her own. She also didn't see her appearance just now, and her brain was completely shut down. If Menjan hadn't shaken her sober, we still don't know what will happen. Menjan and the two walked a long way without finding a demon, and they suddenly felt something was wrong. Why did so many demons suddenly disappear? Could it be that they all scared away when they knew they were coming? At this moment, Menjan felt a powerful presence in front of him, and immediately stopped. He was alert, secretly running his skills, and looked coldly into the darkness ahead. Bayuixi also felt a presence in front of him at this time. She felt a strong sense of oppression, and she suddenly panicked. But at this moment, Menjan's skills were running to protect her, and at the same time pushed her away. She heard Menjan's message, you are, this demon clan, very strong. You go and hide somewhere further away. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of you in the battle for a while. After hearing Menjan's words, Bayuixi walked away obediently. She knew that she could not help Menjan at all now. She could only give him peace of mind and know that he was safe. That was the greatest help to Menjan. Menjan was also extremely like Bayuixi. Although Baichanai pampers her very much, he has never developed an arrogant and domineering character. Instead, he is extremely considerate. This may be related to her experience. At this time, a figure appeared in the darkness. He was wearing silver armor. There are unknown symbols that keep shining. There is a red cloth cap on the head. The face is completely invisible, only the eyes that keep flashing blue light can be seen. And the hands are actually a pair of sickles. Shining in the darkness, the cold light shone on Menjan's eyes from time to time. He flew to Menjan and said, you are the one who slaughtered millions of my demons. Menjan snorted coldly and said, it's just 1,000,000, I have massacred more. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 185. After hearing this, the man sneered. I believe what you said. The evil energy in your body is not something that a mere 1,000,000 people can possess. But I will make you die miserably. Boy, remember my name, Silver Warrior. Menjan was stunned when he heard it. Silver Warrior? This name is so strange. He had heard so many names of demons before, but there was no name like his. Then he asked doubtfully. What, you are not an ancestor? Mengjian has already sensed that the person opposite is already 9,000 feet into the realm of 10,000 gods. In other words, he is one step away from being 10,000 feet away, and is also called a semi-immortal. The man smiled coldly and said, when I reach my level of cultivation, I can naturally be considered an ancestor. But I am too lazy to be an ancestor and take care of my subordinates. And the name of the ancestor is too rustic. If you hadn't been so evil, I wouldn't have come to you at all. After Mengjian heard what the silver warrior said, his doubts became even greater, and he immediately asked. Listen to what you mean, your ancestor is not claiming to be himself but someone wants to block his account. The silver warrior naturally knew what Mengjian wanted to trick him into, so he immediately said. Boy, I don't have time to question and answer with you here. As he said that, he raised his left hand, and suddenly the silver light shone brightly. At this time, Mengjian also secretly operated the two major techniques to the extreme. This was the first time after he broke through the 10,000 god realm and cultivated with the 8,000 zhangs of the 10,000 god realm. He couldn't help but ignore the demon's attack. At this time, he only heard the silver warrior say. Huh, these idiots don't know what to think. They are obviously a person with a cultivation level of 5,000 feet in the 10,000 god realm, but they are said to be a person with a cultivation level of thousands of feet. They are all shocked. As his left hand fell, a slash appeared and disappeared instantly. Mengjian was a little surprised when he saw it. He began to let go of his spiritual consciousness and sensed his surroundings. Who knew that there was no response? Suddenly he felt that the space around him was distorted, and there seemed to be thousands of 10,000 attacks were about to appear, and Mengjian suddenly dodged away from the place. Sure enough, the surrounding space cracked open the next moment, and 10,000 slashes appeared, and the entire space was shattered. Mengjian looked at the place before and let out a sigh of relief in his heart. Fortunately, he sensed the spatial fluctuations. Otherwise, he would have been injured by the blow just now. Although he was physically strong, it was no joke that the opponent had a cultivation level of 8,000 feet. The silver warrior was a little surprised when he saw Mengjian dodge, and then said. Boy, I didn't expect you to understand the laws of time and space. It's really interesting. I am also the law of time and space. Let's see how many of my attacks can be resisted by the laws you master. After saying that, the figure suddenly disappeared. Mengjian felt a little warm and angry in his heart. You actually underestimated me? Then you will pay the price of underestimating me. Immediately, the law of space and time came. This was the first time that the law was used after entering the realm of the gods. Jin, the golden light in the body instantly flourished, and the lines of laws on the body became clearer. Mengjian was surprised to find that when he mobilized the laws of time and space, all the other laws were integrated into the laws of space and time, completely acting as subsidies to strengthen the laws of time and space. In an instant, Mengjian was stunned. Zhan felt that his own domain was all around him, and he suddenly raised his left hand and grabbed it to the side. He stretched directly into the void and grabbed the silver warrior who was shaking all over. Then he said, how many moves do you think you can resist? After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 186. Hearing Mengjian's words, the silver warrior suddenly trembled and looked extremely frightened. Who would have thought that the man in front of him could actually capture him as a demon? The silver warrior, who originally had great confidence in himself, was unstable and even showed signs of losing control. In the beginning, he didn't come here to avenge the demons in his clan. After all, the demon clan has always been about chaos, and the strong are respected. If Mengjian had not directly provoked him, he would not have been too angry and could even have laughed it off. But now, Mengjian, who was not looked down upon by him at all, actually has such a powerful power of time and space. It was obvious that the eyes of Mengjian in front of him were as calm as water. But underneath, in the deepest part, there is an extremely profound murderous intention. Observing the woman next to him carefully, although her figure is slender and her body is moving, there is a vague law of destruction all over her body. It's over. What kind of terrifying people did the Silver Warrior provoke this time? Seeing that the Silver Warrior remained silent and looked frightened, Mengjian smiled with satisfaction. Haha, or, do you want to die under my punch? If you want to live. Before he finished speaking, the originally arrogant Silver Warrior suddenly raised his head, his eyes full of pleading. Lord Meng. I want to live. Please spare me. I am willing to work as a cow or a horse for you, as a slave or a servant. Ah! What followed was a shrill scream. There was no mercy or hesitation. Mengjian took action brazenly and punched through the heart of the Silver Warrior dressed in black. A thick black mist surged in, covering the wound. It spread all over the place. But it couldn't be healed at all. You actually have the power of the laws of time and space that is more proficient than me. The Silver Warrior, who still had a trace of breath left, looked at the man in front of him in horror. He was tall, burly, and full of blood. There were still 9 human golden dragons vaguely present all over his body. Moreover, it was a 9-clawed golden dragon. You are still a peerless human emperor who has never been born in the human race. Damn it, what kind of information did these guys hide from me? What an ancestor's name, I don't want it anymore. Hearing the words of the Silver Warrior, Mengjian looked even more confused, and then he took action boldly and directly used the soul-searching secret technique. However, what he saw next was completely beyond his expectation. What you see is a space shrouded in chaotic energy. However, in this world, the chaotic energy is in the sky or in the middle, but the demonic energy exists in the earth. All kinds of devils are constantly growing up. That's right. It just keeps growing. It is also divided into different grades according to its growth location. The higher the level of the demon clan, the stronger the demonic energy is in the location where it appears, and the cultivation level it possesses is also extremely powerful. If it is a lower level demon clan, not only does it not have enough demonic energy to use. On the contrary, sudden death is possible at any time. The reason is lack of demonic energy. High-level demons occupy the places with the most demonic energy. As for the Silver Warrior, he was born in a sea of surging demonic energy. The trajectory of its growth is all under the control of the Lord of the Ocean, the true ancestor of the demon clan, and the person who was awarded the title by the elders. In fact, countless demons will be controlled in this way. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After guarding the abyss for 1,000,000,000 years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 187. As for this ancestor, he has been searching for the secret of the long river of time for countless years. Even, want to master it completely. As for the laws of time and space surrounding the Silver Warrior, they were also granted to him in disguise. But he deceived the Silver Warrior into thinking that he had obtained it through hard work. Immediately afterwards, on the battlefield between humans and demons. After Mengjian returned to the human race, his power became even stronger. He even held the position of human emperor of the human race, and his strength and cultivation continued to increase until he reached the realm of the gods. The ancestor of the demon clan summoned the Silver Warrior, who seemed to be the first person under him in the entire demon clan. And, he was assigned a mission. That is, kill Mengjian. As a result, the unknowing Silver Warrior came to Mengjian and tried to kill him. Seeing this, Meng Zhan sneered and tightened his grip. Then, there was a loud bang in the palm of his hand. Boom! The silver warrior, who was originally covered in black, completely turned into black mist, and then completely disappeared without a trace. Not even the demon soul was left alive. This means the silver warrior has no hope of resurrection in the future. But in Meng Zhan's palm, there is a silver white law, shining brightly. Very good, it was delivered to your doorstep. Then, I'll send you on your way. Meng Zhan sneered and digested it completely. Then, Bai Yuexi, who was beside him, had not recovered yet, and he found that the world around him was spinning. When he opened his eyes again, he had already arrived in a world filled with evil energy. Ancestor of the demon clan, come out and die. A cold shout came. Meng Zhan hadn't taken action yet, but he had a thought in his mind. A crack appeared in the space in front of his eyes. Among them, a figure full of demonic aura appeared here instantly, his expression unchanged. But in his eyes, there was a faint contains countless feelings of fear. How come? Didn't this kind of guy ask the silver warrior to kill him? Why, still? Ah! The next moment, Meng Zhan sneered and said. Don't add drama to yourself, it's your turn to die. Snapped. A slap passed by. The big head that was still on the shoulder suddenly fell to the ground. Then, the body disappeared without a trace. Meng Zhan's indifferent words reached Bai Yuexi's ears. After killing the demonic silver warrior, I have reached the level of 10,000 feet in the realm of the gods. Now I have achieved the height of half-immortal. Not to mention, the silver warrior really brought me a great gift. I have completely mastered the laws of time and space. When Bai Yuexi heard this, she was overjoyed. Well, you promised me, even if you become an immortal, don't give up on me. Well, I promised you. Meng Zhan spoke calmly, his eyes full of tenderness. What he didn't say was, after killing the ancestor of the demon clan, he already felt that the balance of the world still requires the coexistence of humans and demons. Therefore, the demon clan was not exterminated. It's just, when bringing back my parents, brothers, and sisters, I still need to deal with some powerful demons that may threaten them. 1 month later, Meng Zhan stood tall in the long river of time and space, constantly reaching out to fish out and then reaching in again. Father, mother, brother, sister. There are also many members of the Meng family who have been completely found by him. The coordinates are within the long river of time and space hundreds of millions of years ago. Meng Zhan worked tirelessly and stretched out his hands again and again. Not only did he fish out his relatives and tribesmen, he even fished back his brothers from the demon-suppressing army during the war between humans and demons. End of full text.